Meeting come to order, please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Carrie Barringer. Here.
You didn't think I'd make it, huh?
No, I knew you'd be here. Joe Lottie is excused. Robert Laraway,
Here.
Brad Beatty,
Here.
Carol Shannon here, Dave Trumson.
Here. The agenda is before you. Any additions, corrections? If not, stand approved as met by unanimous consent. Then we have the consent agenda. Anything to take out to talk about? To add to, subtract from. Motion. I'll take a motion to accept the consent agenda. Motion made by PV to accept the consent agenda, seconded by CUNY. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Sense of melancholy's around me because a community member has passed that I've known for almost 2/3 of my life. I met Charlie Keel when I was a senior in high school and he was coaching at Mount Pleasant. Then he followed me through wrestling in Central, and he was an official and a coach and a community member wherever he went. He was a member of the Lions Club. He was a member of other service organizations. And he is that old school person that thought the community was all important. So he'll be sorely missed. And God rest in peace, Charlie. All right, that's it for me. Mr. Manager.
The dredging work has been completed on the river area. Savin has begun pulling their equipment, and the drawdown is slated to begin later this week. They needed to wait to start that until they could get the boat and pipes and stuff out of the lake. I sent copies of the deeds of the airport transfer to our attorneys to review. I didn't see any type of entanglements from when they were gifted to us from the Ledbetter family. They would prevent a transfer back into private ownership. One thing our attorney did talk about is, to satisfy a public purpose type thing, you may have to agree to go out for bids or something like that. Talked with Councilmember PV early today, and another concern that came up is, we should probably look at having a clawback provision in that gifting so that if they ever were to close it, it would revert back to us for whatever purpose that we see fit. But haven't heard back from the attorney I sent out last week. I did talk to Tom Corser, who's our airport manager, who's kind of the liaison for the pilot group. They said, we do want to do it, we just don't know how. So that was one of the questions I did ask our attorney, is what would they suggest be the proper mechanism to transfer that facility over to them. As of doing the packets, we're at 93.75% collection on our summer taxes. That's right about normal. By the end of October, we're usually 94-ish, 95%. So right where we should be. We did send out notice on the 63-day comment period for the master plan draft. Isabella County did respond with a letter that they reviewed it and have no objections or concerns. So that notice went out to the county, to the Regional Planning Commission, the neighboring townships, the tribe, so on. So typically you don't hear back from anybody other than maybe your neighbors in the county, but that is all I have for right now. As I was out sick for a good couple of weeks, and so that was a delay in starting the collection process of signatures. And the other delay, unfortunately, was Charlie's passing, as he was going to spearhead some of that effort on his street. So, once we get past this week, we'll look at how to start that process and go from there.
Okay, any questions? Did the LIPOA send a report?
No, they did not. I can share that last Friday afternoon. Guy Savin had, myself, Norm Burmeister from the Lake Committee, and Tracy Nelson come out and review the work that they had done. Tracy and Norm took a boat ride, probed, the depths. There was one spot kind of where that point is that was rocky that they couldn't get a lot out of, but by and large, they got that whole area cleaned out. So Norm gave the okay to sign off that the project was complete, and so I did that, and we just got the final invoice from Savin today, with a copy of the GPS tracking on where the dredge went. So
Did the flow work better?
I think so. That was, when they took the boat ride, the last thing that Norm had asked them to do before they pulled it was up at Playa Park at the north end. He asked them to go out just a little bit further to connect into the channel out there so that there would be flow on the east side of the island during drawdown. So I'll be very eager to see what it looks like once we do drawdown. And then, we've talked about going out there with our backhoe to clean up along the shore area, that area where they couldn't get in with the dredge because they were worried about slumping. So, yeah, it'll be exciting to see what it looks like in a few weeks once the water's gone.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody? All right, go on to our first public hearing. And only one, I guess. Proposed ordinance 2025-01 refuse franchise. 7:07, public hearing is open. Mr. Manager?
So before you tonight is an amendment to our refuse haulers franchise ordinance. When this was adopted back in 2018-ish, the ordinance originally contained a time limit on the duration that you could enter into a franchise agreement of 3 years with subsequent 2-year renewals. In working with Kings on a multi-year renewal, the flavor of the council that you asked me to negotiate was a longer than 2 years. So in order for us to take action on that item under existing business number 1, you first need to amend the ordinance that says you can adopt something longer than 2 years. So that's what this ordinance does. I know it's published in the paper. We've not had any public comments, questions, or emails about it since publication.
Okay. Anybody from the public want to comment? Okay, seeing none. Any questions by the council? All right. Hearing closed. 7:07 or 7:08. What's your pleasure? Chair will entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we pass. Change.
Okay, motion made by CUNY to accept ordinance 2025-01.
I'll second
Seconded by PV. Further discussion? Seeing none, roll call please.
Robert Laraway,
Yes.
Brent Peavy,
Yes.
Carol Shannon, yes. Carrie Behringer, yes. Paul Cuny,
Yes.
Dave Torgerson.
Yes, motion carries unanimous.
I had a quick question for him though, that wasn't related to this. Which way do you like the garbage can facing the road? Do you like the arrows or do you like the handle?
Personally, I like the handle, but all the cans have on them to face them the other way for the
Yeah.
automated,
Yeah,
and we're not automated.
No, we are the automation.
Yeah, we're the,
so handle out then is easier on you?
yeah.
Make no
As long
difference
as
to
it's
me.
out, as long as it's out, I don't care. We reset them each driver resets them the same way, like if Tim leaves his house, you'll see them all set in one way.
Mhm.
You get over on Clubhouse, we have a different driver. You might have them set in the opposite way, but they're all uniform on the street. So
Okay,
I don't care, as long as it's out, I don't care. I don't think we'll ever get to that position to where we're automated. Especially here at the lake, because we do have some people that do not have to have containers, we have so many other options. And
We could change that.
we do not get the customer report if we don't get in and out of our truck. I don't have to get a chance to talk to people, or neither do my drivers. Feed the dogs. We don't get any of that opportunity, so we kind of want to stay our course.
Okay.
As long as we can.
Okay, this is a public comment portion. Any public comment? Seeing none. Existing business is the franchise agreement. Mr. Manager?
Before you have draft from last month, same as then, we're in the final few months of our current, agreement with Kings, ends at the end of the calendar year. This agreement would go into effect January 1st, 2026, and would cover 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So I had a nice meeting with, Michael and his wife at, the Shepherd Bar, where we talked through all the nitty gritty details and, hard decisions that had to be made, and brought before you this document here. They were very tough negotiators.
We've heard that about them.
I know.
Yeah.
Kind of like, the American Forest Policy, he's a SOB, but he's our SOB. That's how we both were, right? So obviously they're here tonight to answer any questions you have, but we have had almost universal praise and appreciation for the service they do for our community, and I think it's a great relationship, and it's one that I think our community enjoys, quite frankly.
I think it's outstanding. We don't have to do it like waste management. I mean, they're a pain in the butt, and it's great to, do business local, and they do a fantastic job for a great price. I think it's an awesome deal.
I'll second that.
Yeah, we need a motion to accept the franchise agreement.
I'll make the motion to accept.
Motion made, we need to accept the King Disposal Franchise Extension Agreement. Seconded by Laraway. Further discussion? Seeing none, roll call please.
Robert Laraway,
Yes.
Brent Peavy,
Yes.
Carol Shannon, yes. Carrie Behringer,
Yes.
Paul Cuny,
Yes.
Dave Torgerson.
Yes. Motion carries unanimous. Mr. Manager, new business. Budget amendments.
So, as I explained to my daughter last night, who wanted to understand municipal finances.
That's a
I'm sorry,
bad
what
fact.
do you mean?
She needed to go to sleep.
Lake Isabella is an incredibly unique community in that our highest dollar amount in terms of general operating revenue is state shared revenue. It is not property taxes. That's more common for townships than cities and villages, and it's due to our millage cap in our charter. The state budget, as you may or may not know, amended the manner in which gas taxes are going to be collected. So right now and through the end of the calendar year, when you go to buy gas, you pay your 35 cents a gallon, whatever, 35, 33, fuel tax, and then you pay additional sales tax on that initial commodity before the other price. In order to fix the damn roads, what they are doing is taking the sales tax component out of that equation and replacing it with an equal level of an increase in the gas tax. Revenue sharing at the state of Michigan is either constitutional or statutory. We've never received anything of significance in statutory revenue sharing, and that goes back to when we incorporated in 1998. The formula at that time based your capture in 98 on your capture of 96. You didn't exist in 96, so you didn't have a capture. They since brought us back into the fold to the tune of about $2,500 a year. It's an insignificant amount of money. Constitutional revenue sharing is one they had to provide, and that is done on a per capita basis. So a 10% reduction in the sales tax, which funds constitutional revenue sharing, means that we are going to face roughly a 8.8 to 9% reduction in our constitutional revenue sharing in our general fund. On the flip side, because if you attended any of the cityhood meetings and heard me talk about streets, you will know that we have an abundance of streets that we maintain in our community, vastly more than most communities of our size in terms of population. So on the flip side of the equation, that increase in the gas tax is going to, this fiscal year, bring in about, they estimate 130, I begged it at 120, because I think the marijuana money isn't gonna be all that they think it's gonna be. But in the end, it's gonna bring in almost another $200,000 once it's fully implemented for us. So the pill that they told us that we need to swallow is, you're gonna lose roughly $20,000 out of your general fund, but you're gonna get $200,000 in your street fund.
Okay.
Which can go into the. Yeah,
So the amendments you have before you realize that reduction in revenue out of our general fund and realizes that increase in street money. We haven't altered any of the CIP components for the streets yet, because this year is hinging upon whether or not we receive a category B grant from NDOT to do Queensway resurfacing. So that was supposed to be announced towards the end of September. With the state budget situation, they didn't announce anything yet. So I haven't heard when they're planning to do an announcement on category B funding. But that would be a project that we would look to do in the first half of 27 or 26, I'm sorry, because we're July 1 fiscal. So that is plugged in right now. It's like a $400,000 project with a $200,000 match from MDOT. If that doesn't come through, then we're going to obviously revisit over the winter, you know, what's our next strategy plans are gonna be for how we want to roll out with street maintenance based on the increased funding. Finance committee did meet and reviewed these amendments last week. Ran through all of it with them. But we have taken pretty much everything out of general fund in terms of the capital improvement projects, other than technology replacement that would be routine. So we took out the sign project. And we're also going to, you know, look at other cuts and reductions in order to make sure that we stay fiscally solvent. The big issue hitting us is we're paying for policing right now out of our general fund as opposed to a dedicated millage. This budget year, the end number reflects like a $20,000 to the positive. But you also have to remember, we're also banking on $45,000 of MSHDA grant money to cover expenses from last year. So realistically, you're looking at a $25,000 deficit this year and a $50,000 deficit next year, which is about equal to what we're paying for police, so.
Okay. Any questions for Tim?
All chipper news.
Pardon me?
All chipper news.
Yeah.
Well, if you bet 20 and got 200, that's okay.
Yeah, you know, it's,
For now,
There
until you
was-
change your mind.
and there is also potentially an additional pool of money that we haven't accounted for, tied to public safety. And we haven't done that because we're not sure if it would be able to fund our current agreement with the city of Mount Pleasant. Part of the budget process included the adoption of a violent crime reduction funding program. And I have no idea how or why, but according to state police data, we are eligible for up to $40,000 roughly to go towards violent crime reduction in the village. But it can't be used to supplement current operations, is what the thing said, but it can be used to replace millage money. So the angle I'm gonna look at is, we had millage money covering this up until this point. Is this a fair trade-off to fund that at that point in time? So. But again, until we know the specifics in the Department of Treasury, that is not something I felt comfortable putting in the budget for you guys to look at, so.
I see we have a city fund expenses on there.
Correct, I included all that. If this is adopted, I can put that up on our website for, you know, for transparency purposes, but. And that was on the high end, because again, the big issue is gonna be, what do we have to pay on the election part of the deal?
Yeah,
That's an.
one of them we would have to
Yeah,
pay for, but.
Do you think one of those two elections would go away?
26.
Yeah, if they do, if that happens during a primary, we'll call share, so it would be probably half. Or if it's during a general, we don't have to pay anything.
Right, it's still, I mean,
Yeah.
over 3 years, it's still.
Yeah,
Like a. Smart number, in my opinion.
And to be clear, except for what we just talked about this minute. All the other funding, it doesn't affect us being a city or a village.
no,
But just to be clear for everyone,
no.
that all that stuff is still in play.
Yeah, whether you're a city or a village, it's the same
Same
revenue
revenue.
sharing formula. It's the same Act 51 formula. The formulas are based on population and in a rewarding density. And with a big lake in the middle of our community, we don't have density, so.
Which is the genesis of this whole thing.
Correct.
Dave. We need a motion for the resolution 2025-13.
I'll make a motion, we accept resolution 2025-13 budget amendments.
Motion made by PV to accept that,
Second.
seconded by Laraway. Any further discussion? Seeing none? All in favor, say aye. Oh, wait, we have to roll call this resolution, sorry. Almost got a sharp elbow.
I wouldn't have hurt you that much, but. Now it's my turn.
Yes, ma'am.
Brent Peavy,
Yes.
Carol Shannon, yes. Carrie Behringer. Yes. Paul Cuny,
Yes.
Robert Laraway,
Yes.
and Dave Torgerson.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. Malley Contracting.
So, your final item of business tonight would be a 5-year agreement with Malley to, continue to do our primary street maintenance operations. They do the bulk of the plowing, they do the heavy plowing, they do our grading. They do culvert replacement for us. This would, lock in a rate structure for the next 5 years. We've enjoyed a great relationship with them since probably 12 years, 13 years at this point in time.
Yep.
You know, and the reason why we operate this way, for those who may not know, is when you incorporate as a new community in 1998, as we did at Lake Isabella, you're expected to be a functioning unit of government on day one, and you have no resources, no assets, no supplies, no money, no policies, no ordinances,
No revenue sharing.
no revenue, no tax paid. So the cards that were dealt to us were a model that puts us in a position to contract out for these services, because you did not have decades upon decades of time to build up assets and resources to fund this. So doing this this way has actually proven, in my opinion, to be a considerable cost savings in the long run, because it frees you from the capital investment, it frees you from the added insurance obligations of staffing, and it frees you from any long-term legacy costs in terms of pension or employee healthcare benefits long-term. So by privatizing this aspect of our operations, I think we get the biggest bang for the buck for our residents.
100%.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to run the machinery.
Yeah,
There's so many things you wouldn't even think of. I
Yeah.
mean, drug test.
Yeah, 'cause you're not-
CDL drivers. what-
Yeah, you're not just getting drivers, you gotta have a mechanic. I mean, it's,
Or you're paying someone to come on the weekend.
Yeah.
That's not cheap.
yeah,
I'm glad that I mean, this 5-year thing I think is good for us too.
yeah. it is.
I think in years past, there's kind of, they're on the fence if they're gonna continue to do it.
Yeah, they have been, you know, and when Jake had his injury, that was a moment where I thought they might want to, but they've kept with it, and, you know, we've adapted a little bit on our side of the equation, you know, with Jerry being full-time to help plow during the day, so that's less of a demand on them to be here during the day, because those guys are out doing other jobs, so that they can come, you know, 4 o'clock and plow till 8, you know, so I think we have a really good functioning private-public partnership with them and how we maintain in the winter, so.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, we are very happy to drive on your roads up here during, compared to the out on the county roads. And I mean that.
Actually get plowed.
Yeah, Tim's the best one at hitting the carts and rolling them with the plow. I'll give him that.
You know, if it's Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday and you haven't brought your card in, it's fair game in my
That's
opinion.
right, that's right. But no, we really appreciate the job they do.
That's good to hear.
All right,
My motion.
we need a motion.
Looking to, accept the 5-year agreement.
Motion made by. Did you hear?
Yes, Robert.
Laraway to accept the 5-year Mali contract agreement. Seconded by Peavy. Discussion? Seeing none? Roll call, please.
Carol Shannon, yes. Terry Berenger. Yes. Paul Cuny.
Yes.
Robert Laraway.
Yeah.
Brent Peavy.
Yes.
Dave Jorgensen.
Yes, motion carries unanimous. Second portion for public comment.
Just real quick question, with regard to the Malley contract, Tim, I'm assuming the hourly rate that they charge us and the cost of gas with diesel, is that still in the contract? You know, as that goes up and down, it affects your hourly rate as well too? Okay.
So the way the contract has been structured for a while is we pay for a retainer for a set number of hours, and then after we hit that hour mark, then we go to hourly,
Oh, okay.
so.
Any others? Okay. Seeing none, council comments?
I think, Tim's done a great job on everything.
Yep.
And I would congratulate him on doing everything. Go ahead.
Dancing. Okay, that's it. The next meeting is. November.
Sometime in November.
Oh, okay.
If I may, could I read the Facebook post we did for Charlie?
Oh, sure.
Yes.
The village would like to extend our deepest sympathy to the family of Charlie Keel. Charlie served our community as a member of the village council and village treasurer from 2004 to 2023. In 2024, in recognition of his service to Lake Isabella, he was inducted into the Wall of Honor, which honors community members who have made a significant contribution to serving our community. Charlie's warm smile, generous spirit, and unwavering dedication made a lasting impression on all who had the privilege of knowing him. Whether through his work on the council, his active involvement with the Lions Club, or support of local traditions like Lake Isabella fireworks, Charlie embodied the very best of community service. To say Charlie will be missed does not fully capture the depth of his impact. His legacy lives on in the many lives he touched and the better community he helped build. The memorial service for Charlie will be held on Wednesday, October 22nd at 1 p.m. at the Clark Funeral Chapel, with a luncheon to follow in the Reflections Reception Center. The family will receive friends beginning at 10 a.m. until the time of the service. In honor of Charlie's lifelong dedication to helping others, memorial donations may be made to the Charlie and Jane Keel Scholarship Fund through the Mount Pleasant Community Foundation or to Woodland Hospice. Donation envelopes will be available at the funeral chapel.
All right. Rest in peace. That's it. We stand adjourned.